You're nothing. Back off.
In the bustling hallways of Riverside High, a typical suburban school nestled in the heart of a quiet Midwestern town like so many others across America, the air was thick with the usual teenage chaos. Lockers slammed, laughter echoed, and whispers spread like wildfire. It was the kind of place where everyone knew everyone's business, from the Friday night football games to the weekend parties at the local diner. But on this ordinary Monday afternoon, something extraordinary was about to unfold. The cafeteria buzzed with the clatter of trays and the hum of conversations, and in a quiet corner sat the new girl, Elena Hayes. Slim, with her dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail, she picked at her sandwich, hoping to blend into the background. Little did the crowd know, Elena wasn't just any transfer student from out of state. She carried a secret that would turn the tables in ways no one could predict. Dylan Brooks strutted into the cafeteria like he owned the place, his varsity jacket slung over his shoulders and a smirk plastered on his face. He was the king of Riverside, captain of the football team, with a family name that opened doors in this small town. Trailing behind him were his loyal followers, Chloe Reed, with her perfectly styled blonde hair and a phone always at the ready, Jake Harlan, the muscle of the group, tall and imposing, and Ethan Cole, who hung back a bit, his expression more uncertain than the others. The group spotted Elena sitting alone and decided she was the perfect target for their afternoon entertainment. Dylan accidentally bumped her table, sending her soda tumbling over her shirt in a sticky cascade. The room erupted in laughter, phones whipping out to capture the moment. "Whoops, my bad," Dylan said with feigned innocence. "Guess the floor's a bit slick today." But Elena didn't cry or yell. She calmly wiped her face with a napkin, her movements deliberate and controlled, like someone practicing a deep breathing exercise. The laughter faltered as she met Dylan's gaze with steady eyes. "Clean it up," she said softly but firmly. Dylan laughed louder, turning to his friends for support, but the cafeteria monitor, a no-nonsense woman named Mrs. Ramirez, intervened. "Brooks, pick that up now," she barked. Grumbling, Dylan complied, his face flushing with embarrassment as the room watched. Elena stood, returned her tray, and walked out without another word. Ethan noticed the calluses on her knuckles rough, like those of someone who'd spent years training. A seed of doubt planted itself in his mind. Was this new girl more than she seemed? The incident simmered through the afternoon classes, fueling whispers and texts. By the time the bell rang for the end of the day, Chloe was waiting in a dimly lit hallway near the gym, a spot known for being out of sight from the security cameras. The fluorescent lights flickered overhead, casting eerie shadows on the scuffed linoleum floors. Chloe, with Jake by her side and a few curious onlookers filming discreetly, blocked Elena's path. "Newbies like you need to learn the rules," Chloe sneered. "Kneel and apologize, or things get ugly." Elena stood her ground. "I'm not kneeling for something I didn't do," she replied evenly. Jake lunged, grabbing for her arm, but Elena shifted her weight, twisting her wrist free in a fluid motion that left him stumbling. He tried again, faster this time, but she sidestepped, and he tripped over his own feet. The onlookers murmured in confusion, "Oh, punches thrown," yet Jake looked like a fool. Chloe stepped in, reaching for Elena's hair, but Elena's calm stance made her hesitate. Jake charged once more, and Elena gently redirected his force, sending him to his knees with a light touch on his elbow. The hallway fell silent. Chloe backed off, issuing a challenge. "Tomorrow on the soccer field. The whole school will see what a joke you are." As they retreated, Ethan lingered, staring at Elena's hands. Who was she, really? The next afternoon, the soccer field behind Riverside High was alive with anticipation. The grass was still damp from morning dew, and students formed a loose circle under a cloudy sky. Dylan stood in the center, confident as ever, with Jake nursing his bruised ego and Chloe ready to record. Ethan blended into the crowd, his mind racing. "Touch my shoulder if you dare," Dylan taunted. "Or admit you're nothing." Elena stepped forward, her posture relaxed. Dylan advanced, but she pivoted, placing her hand just so, creating an invisible barrier. He overcommit and stumbled forward onto the wet ground. The crowd gasped. "Just a slip," Dylan growled, but the whispers grew. Did she even touch him? The humiliation burned in Dylan's eyes, and as the group dispersed, a short video clip edited to show only Dylan's fall began circulating, twisting the narrative to paint Elena as the aggressor. That evening, in the dimly lit equipment room adjacent to the gym, the air smelled of old sweat and rubber mats. Dylan, Chloe, and Jake plotted their revenge, unaware that Ethan had secretly activated the recording on his smartwatch. "We'll lure her in tomorrow," Chloe said. "Pretend it's about borrowing gear." Mrs. Ramirez walked by, overhearing snippets, and issued a stern warning about school rules and upcoming tournaments. "Any violence, and you're off the team," she said pointedly. The group brushed it off, but Ethan felt the weight of her words. The next day, Chloe tricked Elena into the room. Jake jumped out with a rope, aiming to tie her for a humiliating photo. "Got you now," he snarled. But Elena twisted free, using her momentum to send Jake crashing into shelves, balls tumbling everywhere. Chloe's phone slipped and cracked. Up above, an old security camera, dusty but functional, captured it all, its red light blinking faintly. Ethan, outside the door, noted it with a pounding heart. This could change everything. Tensions boiled over that night in the gym, where the polished wooden floors gleamed under flickering lights. Dylan, Jake, and Chloe confronted Elena directly. "No crowd this time," Dylan hissed. He charged, but Elena lowered her center of gravity, locking his shoulder and using his force against him. Jake swung from the side. She spun, tripping him neatly. A quick knee to Dylan's midsection, controlled, not harmful, left him doubled over. Then the lights cut out, plunging the room into darkness. Shouts and thuds echoed for 10 long seconds. When power returned, Dylan and Jake were on the floor, gasping, while Elena stood unscathed. Chloe's video was lost in the blackout, but the old camera had recorded the truth. Ethan retrieved the memory card later, copying the file. He knew silence wasn't an option anymore. The following morning, the school hallways buzzed with the edited clip, labeling Elena a bully. Whispers turned to accusations. She attacked them in the dark. Dylan played the victim, clutching his side dramatically. Ethan clutched the USB in his pocket, torn between loyalty and conscience. The principal's voice crackled over the intercom. "Elena Hayes to the office for a disciplinary hearing." In Principal Thompson's office, with its wooden desk and stacks of files, the air was thick with tension. Dylan, bandaged for show, sat with his family's lawyer, who presented the edited video as proof of assault. Suspension at minimum, the lawyer demanded. Elena stated simply, "I defended myself." As Thompson pondered, a USB mysteriously appeared on the table. Plugged in, it revealed the full footage: Dylan's aggression, Elena's precise deflections. The room froze. "This changes everything," Thompson said. The hearing was postponed for verification. In the teacher parking lot that afternoon, under a setting sun, Dylan and Chloe whispered accusations against Ethan, labeling him a traitor. "He's the one with the footage," Chloe insisted. Dylan ordered Jake to confront him at the closed community pool that night. Jake texted Ethan, "Meet me. Important." At the pool, under greenish lights reflecting off the still water, Jake demanded the USB. "Give it up, or you're done." Ethan refused. Elena didn't start this. A scuffle ensued, both tumbling into the water. Elena, having followed a hunch, dove in, neutralizing Jake's hold and pulling both to safety. Gasping, Jake realized her mercy. Ethan sobbed, "I'll stand by the truth." Jake, conflicted, nodded slowly. The interschool martial arts tournament arrived, the gym packed with spectators. Elena was assigned a demonstration, performing a fluid form of Tai Chi-inspired moves, her breaths deep, strikes precise, yet nonviolent. The crowd shifted from skepticism to awe. Dylan's mother stood, decrying it as promoting violence, but Mrs. Ramirez countered, "This is discipline, not aggression." Applause thundered. Backstage, Mr. Whitaker, Elena's old mentor, revealed her past as a youth champion. "You swore off competing after your father's death in a street fight," he said. Elena confessed her fear. Power brings pain. But he urged, use it to protect. The next day, in the gym's training area, Ethan spotted a tampered mat slashed underneath to cause injury. He filmed Dylan's henchmen discussing the sabotage. Alerting Elena subtly, he sent the evidence to Officer Sarah Jenkins, a local cop and mother to Elena's classmate Lily. At the station, With its fluorescent lights and humming radios, Officer Jenkins reviewed the clips. Lily confessed her own bullying by Chloe, faked messages ruining her reputation. Small things add up, she said. Jenkins opened a file, escalating the case. In the parking lot that evening, Dylan, Chloe, and a hired thug ambushed Elena. This ends now, Dylan snarled. But Elena redirected their attacks, causing them to collide in a chaotic heap. Sirens wailed as Jenkins arrived, seizing phones. Incriminating texts surfaced, plans to sabotage and frame Elena. Jake confessed, sealing their fate. The full disciplinary committee convened in a packed conference room. Evidence mounted, unedited footage, texts, sabotage video. Chloe admitted editing clips for fun. Thompson declared, Dylan Brooks and Chloe Reed are suspended indefinitely. Cases referred to authorities. The room erupted in murmurs of justice served. Riverside High transformed. New policies included anonymous reporting and self-defense classes led by Elena and Mrs. Ramirez. Public apologies flowed. Former followers expressed regret. Elena reopened Mr. Whitaker's dojo, teaching empowerment. Recognized with a community award, she spoke at seminars, inspiring others to share stories of bullying. Years later, Elena's legacy endured. The dojo thrived, Riverside became a model school, and those once silenced found their voices. Dylan and Chloe faced consequences, learning humility through community service. Elena, now a mentor, knew true strength lay in lifting others. What do you think, readers? Have you witnessed or experienced bullying and injustice in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you believe self-defense like Elena's is justified, or does it risk escalating violence? Take a stand and express your views. Your stories could help someone else stand tall.